ये है मलकांज़व्यू क्लिप चैनल, जहाँ पे आप ट्रेडिंग, एआई और मनी माइंडसेट के बारे में बहुत कुछ सीख सकते हो और वो भी बहुत कम समय में। तो सब्सक्राइब नाउ। How do you see market changing? You have been there since last 40 plus years. What's the market of 1990s and what's the market of 2020s? What's the difference? Like, what do you see as a main difference in the way markets have evolved?
I think it's better to put it this way that do we still have any similarity?
Oh, is it?
Because that is the extent to which it has changed. Back in the 70s, late 70s and 80s, you said 90s, but I'm going a little further back also. It was a country club, right? That is what it was, where a few set of people ruled the roost and hardly anybody knew what was going on, and there was this Badla trading, if you recall.
Yes.
Which was there and which was the dominant thing. And there was one set who would finance the Badla. It's typically Marwadi brokers and that set who never traded a buck in their life, but they made all their money from the interest. And the interest rate back then used to be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7%
Per month.
per month. And then there were all these, for want of a better word, I'm saying gentlemen, who believed that paying that sort of, and that group included me also, who believed that paying such high rates of interest, we could still make money. And you also had to remember that this was the time when brokerage rates were 2% and 3%. If you are an out-of-towner, you paid 4% brokerage. And this was all manual, so I'm not counting into this mix the spreads, which were humongous. And the spreads were dictated by whether that stocks market was made by one person or many. If a single person made the market, he could quote whatever buy-sell difference he wanted.
Right.
So you add that to the mix. And then you add further into the mix that brokers, sub-brokers used to levy their own cuts, pad the price or drop the price of the confirmation. So you can just imagine, just tot all this up and you realize that the odds were almost completely against anybody who was trading. And it were totally stacked in favor of those who were financing this business. And that is how a lot of brokers became so phenomenally wealthy in the course of the next, let's say, 20 years or until the time of 1995 when you got into screen-based trading. Now, screen-based trading was the game changer, right? Because it kind of destroyed, absolutely destroyed all these lacunas which were in existence. The brokerage rates didn't fall immediately. The brokerage rates were still ruling around 2% and all that. But this Badla system was dropped. So straight away you were saving several percentage points in your trade. And then because the trade was on the screen and transparent and could not be fudged, what we used to call as the gala, the gala went away. Now that also saved you lot of money. The bid-ask spread dropped, right? And all this made for tremendous changes. And that's how trading really took off. So if you must talk about the trading market, if you must talk about a birth of a new stock trading system, I would say 95 was really the birth of the stock market as you know of it today. And what has happened through the past 20 years or so is that every aspect of this new system has just become better and better. So everything has dropped, the brokerage rates have dropped down to the basement, right? And today finance companies are into financing, so the rates are in and around what is the normal bank lending rate. Okay, if you can get 12% from the bank, at most you will pay 15% in the market per annum. And I am comparing this to 6% per month, right? So that is available freely. So the cost of doing business has dropped considerably. The bid ask, which used to be a bugbear of tremendous dimension, has now dropped to negligible. It's 5 paisa, right? The spread, or even 1 paisa in smaller stocks and all that, and that's a huge boon. The disparity that used to exist between non-Mumbai based brokers or people wanting to do business from outside Mumbai, or maybe say Calcutta and Delhi to some extent, but Mumbai was the big daddy of it all. That has gone away. That age symmetry has totally disappeared. So that is why I said at the start, please ask me whether there are any similarities anymore. The fact of the matter is there is no similarity to what was being done in the 80s and 90s and to what is being done now. And the way things are progressing now, give it 10 more years and you will start, probably speaking about 2000, 2010 era as the way we are speaking about the 1980s and 90s. So rapid changes, I think, which are inevitable.
In short, what we can say that those galas and those spreads is what now we consider as a living for many people.
Yeah.
That's within that people make money.
Within 10% of that, not even, 5 rupees used to be the gala, now you are fighting for 50 paisa and making a living out of it.
अगर आपको ये वीडियो अच्छा लगा और आपको लगता है कि आपको और सीखना चाहिए एआई के बारे में, ट्रेडिंग के बारे में और मनी माइंडसेट के बारे में, देन सब्सक्राइब नाउ.